God's chosen one. Before midnight, your confirmation is sealed. You feel it like the hush that lingers after the last guest leaves, a quiet that doesn't accuse you of anything, a quiet that sounds like a signature being written without a pen. You have carried your shoulders high for so long that ease feels suspicious, but your spirit knows the hour. Before midnight, the line you could never find with your fingers will be crossed with breath alone. And within 48 hours, the first confirming sign will tap your shoulder. Not with spectacle, but with a nudge you can't explain away. And yes, within 48 hours you will know that nudge by name. This is not flattery, it is a record being read out loud. You did not pass the test because you were flawless. You passed because you refused to rent a room to failure and call it home. You stood up before the dust learned your name. You kept heat on the altar when wind argued for ashes. Heaven did not lose your file, heaven held it open until the concrete of your character set. And that steady cure is why the page turns now for the chosen ones who kept walking when silence pretended to be judgment. You wanted a miracle that erased the weight. You're getting one that honors it. Delay taught you. Silence trained you. Closed doors herded you. You weren't spared the valley. You were led through it. Preparation feels like being ignored until the door opens. When it does, you'll breathe steady and work clean. Keep the calm. Music dips for a heartbeat. Go now to a simple surface in your world. A kitchen table that remembers bills, a workbench that smells like cedar and oil, the dashboard of a parked car where you have told the truth to the night. Place 3 ordinary things there, not because the objects hold power, but because agreement does. Something for your labor, something for your home, something for your heart. A wrench, a key, your open palm. Breathe once. Whisper, I align my work, my house, and my inner life with the will that chose me. Stay in the silence for a full minute and let the minute say what your throat forgot how to say. Close with amen. Return the items to their places. This is not performance. This is partnership. Heaven moves on agreement. Write it. Cost it. Test small. Move. Provision rarely arrives dressed like a parade. It walks in wearing work shoes. Watch the ordinary with reverence. Within 48 hours, hear it again so doubt hears you hearing it, the first confirming sign will arrive. It might be a refund you forgot to expect, a call from someone who remembers your steady hands, a side job that pays better than the hour before it. Do not call it luck. Luck won't teach you how to steward it. Bless it when it arrives. Bless it when it leaves to make room for more. Bless the wisdom to handle its older brothers when they come. Signs are not destinations. They are arrows for travelers who have learned to recognize roads without streetlights. Breathe. Jot it down. Take the next honest step. You will want to announce this to people allergic to your rising. Resist the urge to serve your progress like a plate at a table that never once fed you. Revelation without foundation invites vandalism. Let fruit do the talking when its season turns. Keep your no sharp and your yes expensive. Your hours are not an open buffet. Your peace is not a public utility. Generosity does not require availability to every emergency that refuses to plan. If an offer looks like a shortcut but smells like stress, decline it gently and keep moving. If an idea wakes you before dawn and walks with you through chores, write it, cost it, test it small, and move. Write it, cost it, test small, move. A story now, the kind that knows where your hands live. Caleb put 19 years into a plant off the interstate, where steel sang and weeks were measured in shifts. A Thursday ended the line and his paycheck at the same time, and every room in his house felt smaller. He stopped answering numbers he didn't recognize because trouble learned to borrow phones. Unpaid envelopes stacked like a skyline on the counter, and he prayed with breaths that sounded like air leaking from a tire. One night he cleared a square of table, set down his time card, his house key, and a photograph of his daughter's elbow deep in a birthday cake. He whispered the prayer of agreement and slept like a man who had decided to breathe on purpose. In the morning, a message waited from a weekend acquaintance who remembered Caleb could make broken things behave. The job wasn't glamorous, it was honest, repairing equipment in garages and shops where oil and second chances smell the same. He put on his boots, and the floor learned again how to hold him. 3 months later, he had more calls than he could answer, and a habit of saving small and regular, the size of a coffee, which grew up quietly into safety. No fireworks, just a bright dignity that sat down and stayed for supper. Breathe. Send the follow-up. Price your time with patience. Whisper this with me, and let your chest memorize what your mouth says. I am trusted with the test. Say it slower, like you mean to keep it when the day gets noisy. I am trusted with the test. One more time for the places inside you that only move when they hear you twice. I am trusted with the test. The shepherd leads through the shadow and then seats you at a table where those who bet against you must watch you eat without flipping the plate. That is not a boast. It is the mercy that turns survival into a meal shared with courage. The diligent hand finds increase not because the universe owes it, but because order welcomes harvest the way a ready field welcomes rain. The measure you give returns with friends, pressed down until generosity shakes out of the corners and runs over the places that used to be empty. Suffering grows endurance, endurance shapes character, character refuses to be humiliated by headlines. These are not slogans, they are tools. Keep them as clean as a wrench you plan to hand down. Breathe. Repeat the line that holds you. The old voice will try to bargain with you. It will offer shame like a coupon and fear like an upgraded membership. It will ask you to itemize your failures like a meticulous librarian of regret. Not today. Today, mercy disinfects memory. Forgive yourself for not knowing what you know now. Forgive yourself for funding seasons that starved you. Forgive yourself for pouring into people who could not be filled. Keep the lesson. Release the blame. Shame wants a courtroom. Do not show up to the trial. Fear wants a microphone. Remove the batteries. Scarcity wants a worship service. Refuse to sing along. Replace each with a practice. A small, courageous action that needs no applause. A confession that clears a room. A gratitude that names what did not quit on you. Write it. Say it. Breathe through it. Move. Provision is not a rumor. It is a route with street names like budgeting, honesty, patience, generosity, and rest. You will not sprint into promise. You will walk there, and you will not walk alone. Isolation is a luxury you cannot afford when rebuilding a life. Choose one person of integrity and tell them the truth about your numbers and your hopes. Accountability is not suspicion. It is insurance. For the next 10 days, do one money task each day. Not as a punishment pinned to your chest, but as a rhythm that teaches your feet how to move. Cancel the subscription that's been taking courage in $10 slices. Sell the tool that does nothing but stare at you and turn dust into cash. Update the resume you've postponed like a dentist visit and send it without apology. Call a creditor and ask for a humane plan. Send an invoice with round numbers and a whole spine. Follow up on the message you decided wasn't welcome. Apply for the thing you already qualify for. Offer the skill you think is ordinary because you've carried it so long you forgot its weight for others. Write it, cost it, test small, move. Another story for the days when doubt brings cousins. Teresa lives in San Antonio with 2 kids and a minivan whose check engine light learned her schedule. Her hands smell like lemon cleaner and hot water. She cleans houses when work appears and prays when it doesn't. Dignity is expensive, and she pays for it with apron strings and a calendar where hope writes itself into boxes. A friend sent her a link to an evening class at the hospital. Cleaning, that pays a step better and lines up with school hours. She almost said no because tired people think next time is mercy. She cleared a corner of the counter, laid down a sponge, a key, and her open palm. She prayed the prayer of agreement and wrote 1 page naming the life she wanted to overhear in her own kitchen. She failed the first quiz, passed the second, learned that showing up early and leaving late makes supervisors learn your name in a way that changes schedules. 4 months later, she had steady hours, 2 Saturdays a month to rest, and laughter came back to the apartment like a bird that remembered the balcony. No spectacle, just food. No glow, just light. Sometimes heaven's hands look exactly like your hands when they learn a new pattern. Breathe. Send the application. Keep the pace. Malik drives nights across Kansas, a single dad who times rest, stops by homework calls. When hours were cut, the map looked longer than the miles. One Monday, he cleared a spot on the dashboard, set his badge beside a crayon drawing and his open hand, and whispered the same agreement. He texted a former dispatcher he respected. No pride, just truth. 2 routes appeared by Friday, Fewer miles, steadier pay, home before the bus. No fireworks, just a light that stayed on at the kitchen table long enough for spelling words and a real laugh. He didn't become someone else. He became the man he kept promising his boy he already was. Call and answer again. Let your nervous system learn a new alphabet. I am aligned with the assignment. I am ready for the release. I bless quietly and build faithfully. Music dips for a heartbeat. The lamp for your feet does not promise a map for the whole highway. It gives enough light for the next brave step. The builder who measures twice and cuts once does not fear inspection. The gardener who keeps banks on the river does not lose the field when the rain finally listens. Hold these in your pocket where panic cannot reach. You have asked for timing, like a date can save you. Humans love clocks, heaven loves readiness. Still, kindness is written on your page. Tonight is alignment. Before midnight, your prayer seals what your discipline started. Within 48 hours, the first confirming sign arrives. This week, an invitation to movement walks toward you wearing work shoes, not dressed like a miracle, but moving like one. This month, a room will fit the person you growing into. Larger than your story, and exactly your size at the same time. Do not post any of this. Live it. Chosen ones do not chase lightning, they build shelters that attract rain. Fruit has a volume that safety understands. Write it. Hide it in your heart. Walk it out. Work quietly. Love deeply. Give wisely. Rest clean. Chosen ones aren't chasing lightning. They're building shelters that attract rain, and they're open when the clouds finally listen. There is a veteran listening who learned to sleep with one ear open and never figured out how to close it after coming home. Bills make the same sound in every state. You carry weight like a backpack you forgot how to remove. One night under an honest sky, you set your work badge, your key, and a 4th of July photo where everyone still stood together. You made one call you had avoided to a counselor your benefits already cover. You kept the appointment. You told the truth to a friend who could carry it without turning it into a story for someone else. You kept the bottle out of the house, and you kept your word to yourself like it was a child learning to walk. Your money didn't explode, it matured. You didn't become a different person, you became the person you had been fighting to be. Heaven didn't wave a wand, heaven handed you tools and rode along until the road changed shape. Breathe. Make the call. Keep the appointment. We will pray now, not because perfect syllables make the world obey, but because humility opens paths stubbornness blocks. Say it out loud if you can, think it like water if you cannot. Father who sees small rooms and tired faces, I agree with your timing and refuse the lie that I am forgotten. I release the need to perform for love. I receive grace to act with wisdom. I forgive who I can name and who I cannot. And I forgive myself for the years I tried to live in survival's guest room. Teach my hands to gather honestly, my heart to give without fear, my mind to recognize doors you opened. Guard my house. Heal my body. Order my steps. If I must wait, teach me to wait without wasting. If I must move, make my feet quick. If I must say no, make it clean. If I must say yes, make it costly and true. I place my work, my home, and my heart in agreement with the purpose that chose me. Amen. Music dips for a heartbeat. Let the silence after amen do part of the work. Not every good thing requires commentary to become real. And hear this plainly so the internet doesn't twist the point when it gets bored. This is spiritual encouragement, not financial advice. Build with character, measure with stewardship, protect with boundaries, pace with patience, and yes, work a simple budget, prioritize essentials, negotiate and honor repayment plans, and avoid new debt while you rebuild. Rivers need banks as much as water, blessing weighs as much as burden. Build shelves before the boxes arrive, clean the inbox you avoided because numbers make noise. Oil the hinge in your schedule that squeaks when you try to rest. Decide who holds the spare key to your time. Decide which voices are counsel and which are chorus. Decide what is not for sale, your peace, your integrity, the hours you owe to sleep, the quiet you need to hear instruction. Keep your no sharp and your yes expensive. Keep your no sharp and your yes expensive. Keep your no sharp and your yes expensive. Music dips for a heartbeat. Work quietly. Love deeply. Give wisely. Rest clean. Money won't fall from the sky. It rises from the ground under your shoes. Inventory your real skills. What feels ordinary to you solves problems for others. Fix, organize, comfort, explain, drive, cook, keep books. Price your time with dignity. Keep numbers honest. When increase comes, tithe to your future. Sow, save, live, give. Write it, cost it. Test small. Move. Measure success differently now. Count nights of steady sleep and mornings where gratitude beats the alarm. Count a calendar that no longer lies about who you are. Count food that doesn't taste like guilt. Rooms that don't echo with arguments wearing your shoes. Children who feel safe enough to be silly. Friends who tell the truth without needing witnesses. If you insist on numbers, count the days you don't rehearse worst-case scenarios into the showerhead. The bills you pay on time without apologizing to the envelope. The moments you say no to what drains you, and yes to what builds you. The times laughter starts sounding native in your mouth again. Write it, frame it, live it. Tonight, after the prayer of agreement, write a letter to your future self 3 months from now. Not a speech for the internet, a page for your kitchen drawer. Tell them the call you finally made, the account you closed, that skimmed courage in $10 slices, the application you submitted. The habit you refused to feed, the walk you took instead of doom-scrolling, the apology you offered without staging it for applause. Fold the page and tuck it into a book you actually open. A future self who is proud will read it and nod. A future self who is tired will read it and borrow your courage. Breathe, write it, seal it, keep going. Joy is coming, and it will not knock like trouble knocks. It will slip through the door you forgot to lock because you stopped believing joy would ever want to visit. Do not ask it for papers. Joy will interrupt chores. Joy will arrive inside a song you forgot you loved. Joy will look like a neighbor's wave that means it. Joy will sound like keys in a lock earlier than usual. Joy will taste like dinner that didn't require heroics. Joy will feel like your shoulders remembering they are not hangers for the world's coats. Do not turn joy into content. Let something belong only to you and to the people at your table. Whisper thanks while no one else is listening. Name it. Hold it. Let it teach your body that safety is not a stranger. Breathe, smile, stay. A warning because love wears boots when it must. In the next 7 days, a fix will present itself that solves a short-term panic by creating a long-term poverty. It may arrive as a loan, a partnership, a promise that looks like a shortcut, but smells like stress or an old habit wearing new clothes, asking you to dance like nothing ever happened between you. Ask one question and refuse to negotiate with the response. Does this protect the person I am becoming? If the answer is no, decline without ceremony. Eat something warm, drink water, touch a living plant. Call the friend who answers on the first ring because you also answer on the first ring for them. Heaven handles fallout that obedience looks too plain to handle. Write it, close it, walk on. Call and response. One more time, because medicine works best on a schedule. I do not chase, I attract by character, I gather with honest hands and give with a clean heart. I walk with wisdom and rest without guilt. Music dips for a heartbeat. Pin this on the refrigerator of your mind so panic finds no empty seat. Name confirmed tonight. 48 hours. Be ready. They are not superstitions. They are reminders. You may still wonder whether you are truly chosen because the mirror sometimes looks like a courtroom. Consider your survival. The days that tried to swallow you became stories that taught you to feed others. Grief introduced you to a compassion you didn't know your chest could carry. Loneliness trained your ears to hear directions no one else caught. Betrayal calibrated your radar so flattery cannot hire you with cheap compliments. Hunger made you resourceful without stealing your generosity. Scarcity shaped a heart that can give without bleeding to death. You are chosen not because you are better than anyone else, but because what tried to kill you accidentally trained you to live on purpose. Breathe, stand, receive without apology. Near the end now, 10 seconds to anchor the day before we close. Name one thing you are grateful for, softly enough that your own heart can hear you. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, out for 6. Gratitude is a locksmith. It opens doors panic insists are welded shut. If this confirmed you, leave one simple line in the comments so the next soul has a map. Confirmed, your first name, your state, your sign this week. For example, confirmed, Darlene, oh, refund arrived the day I almost quit. If you want more steady words that hold your shoulders while you build, subscribe so we don't lose each other in the noise. Then put the phone down and do the kind thing you promised yourself last month, because self-respect is also prayer with shoes on. Write it, cost it, test small, move. Before midnight, return to your table. Put down your 3 ordinary things, whisper the agreement. Cross the line no one else can see. When you sleep, angels will adjust what you can't reach. When you wake, something will be arranged differently. A number waiting where it hid. A sentence ready on your tongue that tells the truth without shaking. A worry embarrassed to ask for a chair. Do not stage this. Live it. Keep your no sharp and your yes expensive. Keep your no sharp and your yes expensive. Keep your no sharp and your yes expensive. Music dips for a heartbeat. Work quietly. Love deeply. Give wisely. Rest clean. The hand that wrote your name has not put the pen down. The page is still turning, and the chapter you are entering will not fit in small talk. Walk it quietly. Build it faithfully. And let the world learn. Through your peace, your patience, and your practice. Why the chosen ones never needed applause to know they were confirmed.